You ever meet someone who wakes up just to be mad at something? That's my neighbor Karen. It all started one quiet Sunday morning. I was sipping my coffee, watching my cat, Milo, sunbathe on the porch. His little orange paws stretched out like he owned the world. Everything was perfect. Until I heard that dreaded sound. "Excuse me!" There she was, Karen, standing at the end of my driveway with her arms crossed so tight. You'd think she was holding in all the neighborhood's anger. "Your cat," she hissed, "was on my lawn." I blinked. "You mean the grass?" "Yes," she said. "It's trespassing. I'm filing a complaint with the HOA." I almost laughed. My cat barely weighed 8 pounds, but Karen wasn't joking. By the afternoon, I got an official HOA email, a warning, notice for allowing a pet to roam freely and disrupt neighboring property. That was the moment I realized this wasn't just about a cat. Karen had decided to make it personal. A few days later, I caught her standing on the sidewalk, recording Milo on her phone as he sniffed flowers near her mailbox. "Gotcha!" she yelled. "Proof of harassment." Harassment? From a cat? I tried reasoning with her. I even bought Milo a cute little harness and leash just to keep the peace. But she wasn't satisfied. Every time Milo even looked in her direction, she'd storm over like she was guarding the White House. Then came the breaking point. I woke up one morning to find a small sign staked in my yard. It read, "Keep your animal contained. This is a neighborhood, not a zoo." That was it. She'd gone too far. I pulled the sign out, tossed it aside, and took a deep breath. If Karen wanted a war over one cat, she was about to get an army. Because what she didn't know was that everyone else on the street loved Milo. And I had an idea. A ridiculous, brilliant, petty idea. If Karen hated one cat so much, what would she do if the entire neighborhood had one? The morning after Karen's Keep Your Animal Contained stunt, I was still fuming, but also oddly inspired. If she wanted to declare war on Milo, I wasn't fighting alone. That afternoon, I went door to door, leash in hand, Milo sitting proudly on my shoulder like a tiny orange general. I started with Mrs. Henderson, the sweet old lady 2 houses down. "Karen complained about Milo again?" she said, laughing so hard her glasses fogged up. "That woman's allergic to happiness." "Exactly," I said. "So, I was thinking, what if we all adopted cats?" Her eyes widened. "All of us? Every single house," I said. "Let's give her something to really complain about." By the end of the day, half the neighborhood had joined the plan. We made a group chat called Operation Meow, and everyone started sharing cat photos and shelter links. Even Tom, the grumpy guy who swore he hated pets, agreed to foster a rescue kitten just to see Karen lose it. Within a week, our quiet little cul-de-sac turned into a feline paradise. Cats lounged on porches, rolled in the grass, and napped under mailboxes. It was pure, adorable chaos, and Karen was losing her mind. The first meltdown came on a Tuesday morning. I was taking Milo for his usual stroll when I saw her in her front yard, phone in one hand, spraying a water bottle at a passing cat with the other. "Go away, shoo!" she yelled, spinning in circles as 3 different cats casually ignored her. I couldn't resist. "Careful, Karen," I called out. "You might need a bigger spray bottle." Her glare could have melted steel. By Thursday, she was outside again, snapping photos of every cat she saw. She sent them all to the HOA, demanding immediate action. But the HOA president, who also happened to adopt a kitten from our group, replied with a polite but firm message. "We appreciate your concern, Karen. However, no HOA rules prohibit outdoor cats." That was the moment the neighborhood knew we'd won round 1. The next day, someone left a small gift on my porch. It was a ceramic cat statue holding a sign that read, "Team Milo Forever." The revolution had officially begun. But Karen wasn't done yet. And as I'd soon find out, she was about to take things way too far. I knew Karen wouldn't back down easily. But I didn't expect her next move to be this extreme. It started early one morning when I noticed a strange noise outside. Milo's tail puffed up and he bolted to the window. I peeked out and nearly dropped my coffee. Karen was in the middle of my yard, again. But this time she wasn't yelling. She was setting up cameras. I stormed outside. "Karen, what are you doing?" She didn't even flinch. "Gathering evidence," she said flatly. "Your cat and the others are destroying neighborhood property. The HOA will shut you all down once they see the proof." I almost laughed. "You're seriously spying on cats?" She pointed a finger at me. "You think this is funny, but this is war." And she meant it. By that evening, Karen had installed 3 cameras facing my house, filed another complaint with the HOA, and even called animal control to remove stray cats. Luckily, animal control took one look around and realized these strays were well fed, tagged and loved by everyone on the street. But Karen wasn't satisfied. A few days later, flyers appeared all over the neighborhood. They read, "Attention, dangerous feral cat infestation. Protect your property. Karen. She'd printed them in color, with photos of our pets. People were furious. The group chat exploded with messages. Is she serious? She took a picture of my cat. This is crossing a line. That's when I decided to do something bold. Not petty, not sneaky. Brilliant. I called a meeting. Not just any meeting, a full neighborhood gathering. Right on the cul-de-sac, where everyone could speak their mind. We brought chairs, snacks, even a little table with cat treats. And of course, Karen showed up, arms folded, lips tight. Why are we here? She snapped. To worship your filthy animals? No, I said calmly. To show you that the community loves them. Then one by one, people stood up and spoke. Mrs. Henderson talked about how her cat helped her sleep better. Tom said his kitten made him less lonely after his divorce. Even the HOA president admitted the cats brought life back to the neighborhood. Karen looked around, realizing no one was on her side anymore. But instead of backing down, her face twisted into a furious smile. You'll regret this, she hissed. All of you. And she stormed off, phone in hand. I didn't know it yet, but she was about to make a move that would change everything. The next morning I woke up to chaos. My phone was blowing up with messages from the neighborhood group chat. Karen had gone public. She'd posted a rant on the local community Facebook page, tagging the HOA, animal control, and even the town's news outlet. The post read, "Our neighborhood is being overrun by irresponsible cat owners. I'm surrounded by fur, fleas, and filth. The HOA refuses to act, so I'm going to the media." And she included photos, dozens of them. Cats on fences, cats in driveways, cats napping on car roofs. She even posted one of me holding Milo, captioned, "The ringleader of the cat infestation." I'll admit I was angry, but before I could even respond, something unexpected happened. The internet responded for me. People flooded the comment section defending us. These cats look adorable. That orange one's so cute. What's his name? Karen, you sound like you need a cat. The post went viral in less than 24 hours. By the next morning, local reporters actually showed up. But not to shame us. They wanted to do a positive feature on how one neighborhood had turned a feud into a feline community. When the camera crew arrived, Milo strutted right up to them like a celebrity. Karen stood on her porch, red-faced and fuming, watching as the reporter asked me, "So how did this all start?" I smiled. One neighbor didn't like cats, so the rest of us decided to love them even more. The story aired that evening. The title? The Cat Community That Clawed Back. It got thousands of likes and shares, and a local shelter even called to thank us for helping so many cats find homes. The next day, something magical happened. A small box appeared on Karen's porch. Inside was a kitten, a tiny white fluff ball with a pink bow, and a note that read, "Every neighborhood needs a little love. Here's yours. Team Milo." For a week, no one saw her outside. Then one morning, as I walked Milo, I noticed her on her porch. The kitten was curled in her lap. She looked up, caught me staring, and muttered, "He's quieter than yours." That was her version of peace. From that day forward, no more complaints, no more signs, just the occasional meow from her window. And as I watched Milo play in the sun, I couldn't help but grin. Karen wanted a cat-free street. Now, she was part of the club. And that's how one angry neighbor turned our whole street into a cat paradise. If you enjoyed watching Karen lose this battle, make sure to subscribe, like, and drop a comment telling me what you would have done if you were in my shoes. Because trust me, there are plenty more HOA dramas coming soon.